name is Gehard Gitonga. I was born in 1977 in Mombasa. My father used to work in Mombasa as a civil servant then. But later on we moved to Meru, which is originally my home. In terms of school, I studied locally. I went to High School in Meru. Later on I was called to Kenyatta University to study a Bachelor of Science degree, but I wasn't very keen on studying science. I was keen on studying law. So somehow I found myself in Uganda, where I did my A-level, started from 5 and 6. For the reason that one could not leave Kenyan high school and join university directly in Uganda. So this was now 1996 and 1997. 1997 is when I finished my Form 6 and I got direct admission to Makerere University in Uganda. It's a university, one of the oldest universities in East Africa and actually Africa as a whole. And that's why I started my law from 1998 all through to 2002. Came back to Kenya, went to Kenya School of Law. That was in 2002, 2003. In 2007, if I remember, I was admitted as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practiced as an advocate for about 2 years. And in terms of career, as a trained lawyer, I practiced law for about 2 years. Then I joined the Office of the Attorney General as a state counsel for another 3 years. Then in 2010, I joined the judiciary as a resident magistrate, and I've risen through the ranks for the last 10 years to be principal magistrate. And I hope along the way to rise all the way to Judge of the High Court of Kenya. And I have tried to go back to school so that I improve myself professionally. And I did my Master of Laws degree at the University of Nairobi. Graduated in the class of 2017. And later on, 3 years later, that is in 2000, rather in 2020, just before the outbreak of COVID-19, I went back to the same university where I'm now pursuing my PhD. I think just about when I was in class 8 under KCP candidate in 1991, I started seeing magazines magazines about law, covering lawyer Paul Muite, covering lawyer Dr. Willy Mutunga, who later became Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, lawyer Gehard, lawyer Kiraitu Murungi, and out of their inspirational stories, I decided to study law. I got married in 2004 and I've been married since. And together with my wife, some lady called Jane Mutoni, who is also my friend, of course, and partly in the businesses we do. We have 3 children, one of whom is a KCSE candidate this year at Alliance Girls High School. And we have 2 others, one is 11, the other one is 4 years. I'm a practicing Catholic. I belong to a church called St. Veronica Parish in Syokimau, which is just on the outskirts of Nairobi. And I belong to what we call small Christian community called St. Francis of Assisi. The entire part of my upbringing as a young man was in Meru. So I'm purely Meru both in culture as well as origin. I played football when I was in high school. just at the local level in the school. I wasn't a very good player, but I had a lot of love for it. Later on, when I started working, that love continued with football, and I'm a big fan of football. And I follow Arsenal in England, and I follow Real Madrid in Spain.
Okay.
Yes, I do have a pet in the house. I'm actually a German Shepherd in Siokimau. Although I don't usually have a lot of time with the dog now because I run very busy schedules at the court.
Okay.
But over the weekends, I normally have time for I call him Kobe. I'm passionate about things to do with children. As a judicial officer, as a magistrate, I have worked at the children court for about 6 years. In fact, the time preceding my coming to this station. And during that time, I identified with the causes that address the welfare of children, because I've had occasion to deal with children who are in need of care and protection, street children sometimes who are rounded up from the streets of missions. I also visit those homes to just inspire the children and talk to them and tell them that life can be different if they keep focus. See, my highlight has been my current occupation. I usually get very good feedback and reviews from lawyers who are practicing before me, and they tell me that I have a way of dealing with people's disputes in a manner that de-escalates those disputes. I have the patience to hear their disputes, and I have with the advocates.
My name is Honorable Gehard Gitonga, RM, stroke adjudicator, small claims court, remaining commercial courts. I have known Honorable PM Gitonga for around 2 months now. What I can say is that Honorable PM Gitonga is a very hardworking, humble, down-to-earth person, yet so enriched in the jurisprudence of the law. For the 2 months that I've known him, he has been a mentor to me. He has enlightened me with matters to do with the bench, with matters to do with writing judgments, and areas of law that I may not be aware of. So, Miss Honorable PM Gitonga has a bright future. He's so enrolled in law. He's a good magistrate, and we usually joke with him that he should look forward with even becoming a high court judge once vacancies are advertised.
And there's nothing more gratifying for a judge or a magistrate than getting feedback from professional colleagues that you are doing the right thing and you are serving the people of Kenya well. So to me, I think that is what I would pick as the highlight of what I do. I remember at one point in time when I made a decision in a matter where a child had been sent home from school. The father and mother had separated, so there was a court order directing the father to pay school fees, and many times the father would abscond and the child would be sent home. I remember when that case was being handled by another colleague who went on transfer, and when I took up the matter, I called the parties together, we tried an out-of-court settlement, and I made orders which the father was also embracing, and he said, going forward I'll pay school fees because I also want my daughter to be in school. And the mother wrote to me because she found ways of getting my number, and wrote and said, may God bless you, my child is back to class, and we appreciate the fact that you were able to put us together. My biggest challenge was to find a footing as a practicing advocate. My second challenge has been trying to navigate my interest as an academician and my occupation as a civil servant. Because on the one hand, I have to be in school doing law programs that are very demanding, and on the other hand, I'm serving the public with the deadlines to meet, and I'm also running a family. So, for you to get the correct balance is a big challenge on its own. My career advice is simple: that number one, follow your passion. Take up a career of an area where you have an interest. Don't look at the question of money. In my experience, money follows hard work, wherever it is. So that if someone were to decide to be an engineer, let them be an engineer not because they have seen a neighbor engineer driving a big car, but because they feel they have, number one, they have the ability, and by ability here I mean they have the mental capacity to pursue that line, and number two, they have the interest. Money is everywhere, even a plumber have their money. I always say that hard work always beats talent. Pursue whatever career you find interesting to you with passion and work hard at it. I am a lawyer by training, yes, but I have a lot of passion in writing. In fact, when I was growing up, I had ranked my careers in a three formats. I told myself that if I do not become a lawyer, then I would become a journalist. And if I didn't become a journalist, then I would be a Catholic priest. Now, what I have done, and I thank God because I've had that opportunity to experience both worlds. What I've done is that ultimately, of course, I ended up being a lawyer. But in between, I dabble also as a writer. I pick various topics, mostly in law. I have written commentaries about international affairs, like I remember in 2003, I remember the then President Bush leading America and jointly with the UK attacked Iraq. And I wrote a big article in a magazine about the application of international law which regulates the use of force. So I pick various topics and I write very, eloquently about it because I love writing. In fact, I think journalism was my second love. In terms of church, of course, I was not lucky to pursue my career as a priest, but my heart is always with the church in terms of following the biblical teachings, teaching my children about them, writing also about the church, and writing topics arising from the Bible. So I believe I cut across those three. Those who follow me on Facebook, because I write quite there, they just make comments saying you should have been a writer, but they do not know the truth that if I wasn't a lawyer, then most likely I would have ended up being a journalist. I'm a fan of githeri, some nicely done githeri. I mean, some githeri, some potatoes thrown in there, and some cabbage or skuma. I'm a fan of that. I'm also a fan of some nicely done namachoma, and I'm a fan of mukimo. My travel destination would be, if I had a chance to go, would be maybe Madrid in Spain, or Rome in Italy. those are my dreams, and I hope and pray that along the way before my time on earth is called, I will have occasion to go to either Rome or Madrid or both. Of course, the highest court in Kenya right now is the Supreme Court. I know the judges who sit there. They are men and women of serious academic, what I would say, academic prowess, and other issues, integrity and all. And in as much as, of course, I hope to become a judge of the High Court, I can only pray and hope that it will be my stepping stone also to rise to the Supreme Court. I consider myself capable of doing that. I have had the privilege of attending some of the best schools in Africa, right from Makerere to University of Nairobi, where I'm doing my PhD. So yes, I hope I can go all the way, but I'm modest enough. If God wills that I stop only at the High Court, then I'm happy to take it.